Hey, welcome to day 3, part 3 of our series on Jonah, learning a lesson from someone who probably didn't. Sometimes Jonah is called the reluctant prophet. I don't think he was just reluctant. I think he had much bigger issues than just being reluctant. I know a lot of servants of the Lord who have great hearts who still at times are reluctant, not because they don't want to, just in the way they think about themselves. But anyway, we left off last time at the end of chapter 1. The crew of the ship, the captain, they found out who Jonah was, that he was running from the Lord. They confronted him. They end up turning to the Lord. And ultimately, they threw him into the sea because that's what Jonah had directed them to do. Maybe that was his way of further escaping what God not doing what God wanted him to do. Who knows? What we do know is that God had prepared a big fish. And the fish came, swallowed Jonah, and now we're starting chapter 2 today. We'll get through all 10 verses of chapter 2. Let's read. It says, Then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the fish's belly. And he said, I cried out to the Lord because of my affliction. And he answered me, Out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my voice. For you cast me into the deep, into the heart of the seas, and the floods surrounded me. All your billows and your waves passed over me. And then I said, I have been cast out of your sight. Yet I will look again toward your holy temple. The waters surrounded me, even to my soul. The deep closed around me. Weeds were wrapped around my head. I went down to the roots of the mountains. The earth with its bars closed behind me forever. Yet you have brought up my life from the pit, O Lord my God. When my soul fainted within me, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer went up to you into your holy temple. Those who regard worthless idols forsake their own mercy. But I will sacrifice to you with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay what I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord. And so the Lord spoke to the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. So here we see, now, finally, Jonah is praying. Jonah's attempt to flee God's will puts him in trouble. That's what we've learned so far. And ironically, it's here now when he finally cries out to God. He's one moment fleeing God, and that puts him in trouble. And now, ironically, it's here that he finally cries out to the very one he was trying to flee from. Something we can learn here is when we step away from God's will for our lives, maybe get to a place where we're willfully disobedient, maybe a little lax in our relationship with Him, at some point, we're going to need the Lord to rescue us. And here he cried out. I don't know if he necessarily repented. There's some hints of sincerity here. And it does say that the Lord prayed to the Lord his God. There's something there. There's a little bit of thanksgiving. Anyway, he cries out, and the Lord does rescue him. That's encouraging to think that we could, be behaving like this particular prophet and somehow still find mercy from God, grace from God. But in the meantime, we need to understand our disobedience has put others in harm's way and may have also brought them great loss. Think about the captain of the ship he had to throw all the cargo over. Who knows what the financial impact was to him, to his business. Who knows? That's part of the humbling part when we make big mistakes, is the coming to grips about how our lives impact others, whether it's positive or negative. Now, they throw him overboard. He's swallowed by a big fish, and this is, I think all of us would certainly consider this a horrible situation. But I want to end with this thought. Being swallowed, Jonah is swallowed by this big fish. Certainly, I'm sure he considered it a horrible situation. But that horrible situation was what became the vessel that delivered Jonah back to God in some way and put him back on solid ground. No matter what situation or circumstance we find ourselves in, or you find yourself in even today, if you sincerely turn back and cry out to God, you set your focus on Him, He is able, you can have hope today. He is able to take that bad situation and use it as the vessel to deliver you back to Him and put you back on solid ground. God bless. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow as we continue our journey through the book of Jonah.